Landon, that was the longest practice y'all have had, and it looked pretty intense. Like, how did y'all feel at the end? Were y'all getting kind of exhausted?
Oh yeah, we're definitely gutted, but that's what that practice is for. It's a gut check. Get out there, see if we can stay physically sharp, if we can take mentally sharp, be able to work these situations that we're going to face in a game. When we're out there on Sunday, it's 3 hours long. This was 2 hours and 15 minutes. It may have been a little higher pace, but we got to be able to press that longer and longer so we can get in shape and be able to make sure we're sharp on everything.
What's it like getting started with a scrimmage like this? I mean, not something we've seen too often. So how do you like it?
I actually really liked it because it's been a really good camp schedule. We've liked what he's done, and we've felt like we've been able to recover our bodies. We've been healthy. We've been able to go at it full speed every time we've been able to practice. But at some certain point, you have to be able to start extending those drives, getting in those 2-minute situations, getting in those 4-minute situations, getting backed up. So being able to do this and just lay it, play it. Nobody knows the script. They're not calling the perfect defense into the perfect offense. We're just going out there and playing a game. So I've really, really enjoyed it, and I think a lot of the other guys liked it too.
So none of the drives were scripted. It was all call it.
No, it's all sit there and call it from the sideline, offense and defense both.
So what was your thoughts on the twos went down that touchdown drive? I think Chuck was 8 for 8. What is that? Just confidence building for the entire group.
Absolutely, and we got a chance that. Our like right now, our first O line got to go against the 2 D line. The 2 O line got against the first D line. So we got a little bit of variety in players. We got to go against different guys. So it's all a confidence booster for all of us because we're going against. We're not just going against the 3s or going against just the 2s. We're going against the guys that have been out there for years and years and played a lot of snaps in NFL football.
How does it feel to be back to tackle?
It feels a little welcome home, and it's been a little while, and it took a little bit to get back into it, but I've really liked it, and not saying the option isn't there to go back inside, but I'm enjoying tackle while I can.
I know that probably most teams get like a new coach bump or whatever, but are there things that Kellen's doing that you can feel like the mood and the environment shifting?
Absolutely, and I think a lot of guys have a lot of respect for Kellen, and I think he's doing some really good things. He has that new energy that's coming into this program. He's trying to create that culture that we're used to, and I think he's doing a really good job of that. He's really, what's the word? He's putting confidence in us as well. Not just us having to create that confidence for each other, but he's inspiring confidence in all of us. So I've really, really liked that, and I feel like everybody's backing him up. He's backing us up, and we're going to get on the train rolling.
What are your impressions so far of the 3 quarterbacks?
I think they're all really, really good candidates, and I think that they're out there and they're absolutely giving everything they got every single day to put their best work on film. And so I like every single one of them, and it's going to be an interesting competition, and I'm really excited to see it continue to go on.
Does that kind of filter down the roster when you see the quarterback position having that type of competition, and everyone else kind of follows suit?
100%. It spurs on competition between everybody. It doesn't matter if you're an undrafted guy that just came in here this year, or you're a year 8 guy. It's a competition every single day for that spot, for that position, and we're trying to iron sharpens iron. We're trying to go out there and put the best film we possibly can on, and then be able to perform at the best possibility, or perform the best we can as well.
Landon, what do you like about Kelvin Banks coming in early, and what does he most need to do to be ready for week 1?
Yeah, Kelvin's an awesome player, and he's really coachable. That's one thing that I've really, really seen when he's came in, is that it doesn't matter if it's one of the vet guys, the guy he's working next to, it's a coach, it's whatever. He's been able to take that coaching and really apply it on the field. He's a young guy. He's really, really talented too. And man, he just goes into work every single day with his nose down, just grinds, just works.
How do you feel like Tali's just progressed in year 2?
I think Tali, I think Tali is one of the most impressive players I've seen come straight from college into the league. And I think he's been able to take that next step up this year as well. And he's going back to right, and he's been able to kind of figure that out. And of course, with anybody going left to right, in to out, whatever, takes a little bit to get used to. But now that he's finding home, I see him really hitting stride. And I'm really impressed by what he's been able to do.
People, you're not the only one to bring up his kind of natural ability. What are some of the things that he just kind of has inherently to him?
That dude is so fluent. He can bend really well. He has really good lower body movement. I mean, when you watch his sets, it's one of those guys that when you watch film of him, you're like, golly, man, I wish I could do that. And it just looks so easy for him. I know it's not easy, but he makes it look easy. And he's just got great technique, great bend, great lower body weight. Like it's awesome to watch him.
What do you think about the prospect of him and Banks, toughening up on the outside?
I think that's awesome. I think they're both really talented guys, and I think they're going to be able to lock down the edges when we need them to.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
There was that silent change.
How you doing?
I'm great. How about yourself?
What's it like to go through a long practice like that?
I mean, I feel like it's definitely everything is mental. Your mental toughness and just your ability, to keep everything consistent when you get fatigued. So I definitely feel like it's great work for everybody.
You're playing at a high contact position like you are here. What's sort of the schedule been like for you in the way that Kellen has and the sports performance team has kind of managed rest, recovery, things like that?
I mean, really nothing crazy. They take care of us overall. We've been 2 days going, 1 day off. And they give us plenty of time before meetings to, for recovery. Any nicks or bruises or, just getting your body worked on, contrasting. So they definitely do a great job of making sure we're fresh and healthy.
Does any of that stand out as unique, like a unique approach, or is this kind of consistent with what your experience has been before?
I would say most definitely it's a unique approach with the amount of time we get after practice just for recovery. And everybody's different. It's all about finding a routine. And so everybody have their different routines and what works for them. You got your bigs, your mids, and skill. So it's a combination of all of that.
What does switching to running back meant for your career?
I mean, running back was my first position as a kid. So all the way into the 8th grade when I switched to receiver. And so, I mean, it's natural. I've been doing it since I've been young. And a lot of backyard football. So at the end of the day, you got your X's and O's, but you don't forget how to run the ball. So, I mean, it's a blessing. I feel like it just shows how versatile I am, that I can play receiver, play running back, be put in different situations for certain schemes.
Have you played gunner before? It looks like you got some pretty good reps there the last few days.
Yeah, I played gunner in Chicago.
Okay.
I had a good amount of gunner reps with High Tower in Chicago. Yeah, for sure.
Is that something you like to do? You embrace that kind of?
I like playing football.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, I can play and touch the field. It's a blessing, to be a part of the organization like the Saints. And so, however, wherever they need me to help the team, I'm down for it. At the end of the day, I'm a football player. So.
Are there any players, like as you made the switch to running back at the NFL level, that you kind of looked at and modeled your game after?
I'll say, AK is definitely one. The way they use him, he could definitely catch out the backfield, do a lot of unique different things. Definitely Gibbs. I seen him at Alabama, how Alabama used him with similar things Detroit's doing. So, a few guys that's versatile that can also run routes as well. Yeah.
Have you been wanting to move back, or when Chicago suggested it to you, right?
Yeah, Chicago suggested it to me, but I feel like it's a blessing overall. And my rookie year, I played running back as well.
Oh, okay.
They gave me a couple toss when I was playing receiver and stuff, just to get the ball in my hands. Receiver room was stacked.
What do you like about the way that Kellen Moore's offense utilizes your position and your versatility for you individually?
It unlocks a lot of things. It really, I would say the offense, it really puts you in a position so you can show like your full potential. You catching, running, really does it all. You've seen Saquon, he had a couple good catches. out the backfield and stuff, but it definitely it unlocks a whole lot of things, especially if you're a versatile back.
Coach Thomas said that you're the fastest back in the room and that they really like that about you. How do you utilize that speed and how does it set you apart in the running back room?
Fastest one on the team. But I mean, you can't coach speed, and I feel like I've shown some glimpses of how dangerous I could be at being a home run hitter or getting the open field, and so it's just taking everything day by day, being consistent, continue to learn from AK and all the guys that has a lot of experience, and JT as well. So I'm just being like a sponge right now, just learning, keeping my head down the grinder.
That third down drop, like a good example of just kind of how you can use your speed when you go.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I obviously, read the gaps and everything, and my blockers and the way the scheme's set up. But at the end of the day, you just run the ball. You know what I'm saying? I feel like physicality is a great part of my game as well, so it makes it that much easier too. To run through arm tackles and stuff. But no, it's not. Running the ball is just running the ball at the end of the day.
I mean, just to be clear, you're saying you're faster than Rashid?
For sure.
For sure?
Yeah. I bet my game check on it.
Were you, forgive me for not knowing, but were you a back last year in Carolina and Jacksonville as well?
Yeah, Jacksonville I did both though. So.
How's Crash doing?
Oh, Crash is in heaven. If anybody doesn't know, the ferret and stuff. So he's definitely a legend. And I don't know. I think I don't know if I showed a clip, but he got a shout out when we played Georgia when Georgia was #1. I think my last year in 21. He got a little small clip with me and JT. JT was the quarterback over there. So yeah, Crash a legend.
What is something you've learned from Alvin working alongside him now?
I mean, it's pretty broad. I learned a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I'll say what stuck with me the most. Don't overthink anything. You be a sponge. You be able to take what you learn in the room and translate that to the field, and just go have fun, overthinking anything. You know what I'm saying? Put your training to work, and just play with confidence.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Thought it was awesome practice today. Awesome scrimmage. We ran a ton of plays. We ran 126 plays, so might have broke a record, but that's all good. Games are 3 hours long, so it was good acclimation for us in general.
Were all those live called plays, nothing scripted?
Yeah, nothing was scripted today. Yeah, everything was called.
Kellen, what was your main goal, like what you wanted to get out of the scrimmage today?
Yeah, I think one of the big objectives is to take the script component out of it and all the scripting and make you handle the situation each and every moment. It's all call it, so there's no prep work as far as players. They don't know what plays they're going to be in for. They got to be prepared for all of it. So that was a big part of it. The endurance. We went for 2.5 hours and 126 plays. So we're going to try and maximize as many reps as we could. And I think part of that was just the training of a game. Games are going to be 3 hours plus on Sundays, and at some point you got to get used to that a little bit. And so obviously this was kind of our big day going into this. We'll address kind of the next week as we go, and then we'll ramp up towards the Chargers.
How good was Tyler in that first drive?
Yeah, Tyler did an excellent job. Yeah, and I thought in general it's a really good example of the length of a game. There's highs, there's lows. There's really good start. I thought the offense came out and played really well to start it. Defense responded really, really well. Defense did an excellent job in the 2 minutes at the end of the game. We snuck in some live live tackling towards the end with the threes, and so we got a ton of situations in today.
Does that 120, forgive my pedanticism, but does the 126 include things like punts, field goals, penalties, things like that?
I think it's just offensive plays.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What's the interval for one believe? Is that indicative of how better is right?
It's just the way the rotation worked today. Yeah, obviously, try to get those guys all different opportunities, different exposures, and so felt like all three of them had highs, had lows, which is kind of what you'd expect in these situations.
You purposely mixed up the first team, second team, switching up like the first team offense against second team defense.
Yeah.
How does that evaluation go when you're going out to see how each unit performed overall?
Yeah, for the most part, it's ones versus ones, twos versus twos, threes versus threes. There are a couple times where we want to go ones versus twos and twos versus ones. It's just to see how people respond. Put the two groups in situations where they're going against the first group, see how they respond. Does anyone kind of stand out in that certain situation? And so I thought it was good training for everyone.
So what is the thinking behind having the threes tackle? I mean, is it preservation of the
yeah, just something's kind of fun towards the end. Get the third group ready to roll. Get in a tackling setting. Obviously, self-explanatory. Alvin and Co and she, those guys aren't going to be a part of that, and they'll get ready in a different fashion.
But is there also an element to you probably got a lot of the less experienced players, and you want them to get exposed to that?
A little bit. I mean, it's going to be tackle in a week basically, and so a little bit of exposure there just to get a feel for it, and that'll be a big part of what preseason football is the tackling component is obviously something you can't fully replicate in these scrimmages or in these practices throughout training camp. So if we could steal a little bit of it with that group, we felt like it was an added bonus.
For the purpose of today, when you're calling plays, are you calling to try to give the quarterback the best chance for success, or are you calling plays sometimes to challenge the quarterback? Like, what is sort of your mindset calling?
No, I'm calling it for these guys to be successful. That's my whole goal. That should always be my goal when I'm calling these plays. We did throw it a lot more probably than we normally would in a game setting. Just put these guys through more reps and more opportunities. So certainly, if there's 126 plays, I don't know, I broke a record for passes, but that was part of it. We wanted to get these guys many different reps.
Do you feel like the quarterbacks are progressing on the ideal schedule that you would want them to be on right now?
Yeah, they're doing a great job. Yeah.
Was the rotation of quarterbacks pre-planned, or was that something you kind of did in the moment?
Mostly it was all pre-planned. There's a few, just little tweaks based off the reps, but pretty much pre-planned, road mapped, and Scotty did a good job with that.
See quarterbacks rip it a little more in the caller, there's not as much maybe thinking about it.
Yeah, I love call it situations. We go through the install process early in training camp. You kind of have to script to make sure you get things repped, get experience with certain concepts or plays, and we do that on both sides of the ball. But as this thing progresses, we get more and more into these call-its because ultimately that's how this game's played. I do think it takes the thinking out of it, some of the over-analyzing out of it. You get a play call, and within about 15 seconds, you're executing that play on the field, and just whatever happens on that one, you go to the next one, and you just keep on moving.
Did you think Tyler took a step forward today?
Yeah, I thought Tyler did an excellent job. We had a little turnover there towards the end, but we get to learn from that. Like we said, there's going to be highs, there's going to be lows. Thought that first drive was excellent. I thought him and Spence both came out and just did a really, really good job. Just moved the ball really well, got us in position. We got a field goal and a touchdown out of each of those, and so we just got to sustain it.
I know you probably have to look at it, but on that interception near the end, just get it out faster. What's kind of
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at it. I didn't see the protection aspect of it or the pocket. I was kind of looking on the back end. So, I do believe that one was a fourth down potentially. So we'll see how that went.
You mentioned that the defense responded toward the end of the practice or in the second half of the practice. What did you like about maybe how opportunistic they were with turnovers?
Yeah, defense did an excellent job. I think that's a really cool teaching moment for us. Is no matter how the game starts, we certainly want to start fast, but it's how you respond, and you got to sustain things for 3+ hours on Sundays. And so our guys got some training of that. I thought our defense responded really well. You can see the leadership pop up. You can see the vets who kind of rally the group. This is players run this thing. That's just how it operates. And when they push the tempo and they get this thing going, special things can happen.
There's a lot of pop out of Velus Jones Jr. so far. Training today. What have you seen out of him?
Just doing a really good job. Obviously, the transition to running back, become formerly a receiver, and I think a lot of it, you see the burst, you see the explosive plays, which is awesome, and now you just see the detail start getting better, the protection game start getting better. That's the big part that he's got to grow in.
So you say unscripted, obviously the offense and defense didn't know what was coming, but did you talk with your quarterbacks and simulate sort of like a first 15 play kind of?
No, not necessarily on this one. No, we just wanted them to just play ball. That'll be, really the remainder of preseason. We'll obviously roadmap those games pretty good, but this was just purely call it and react.
Did you get a good look at Kool-Aid McKinstry's interception and just comment on his day?
Yeah, again, Kool-Aid is starting to become a little bit of a broken record. He's doing a phenomenal job. And this is what we expect out of him. This is what we look forward to with second year, big leap. He's just doing a really good job, taking great command. He's got great vision. He has ability to pattern match and take chances, but he can recover, when he gets aggressive. And I think that's the beauty of how he's playing right now.
This is going to be dumb, but when you guys script stuff,
I'll be prepared.
when you guys script stuff, does the offense know what play the defense is running when, in almost scripted situations?
No. That's not the intent of the play. I won't say it's, your goal is really just get the offense, defense. They usually know what plays they're going into, what the defense is or the offense is, vice versa. They don't, and so, but they know only sometimes, at times it's like you can focus on those 4 plays that I got in that team period versus, okay, it's really a 16-play period, but I'm only focused on 4. These guys got to be ready to roll for anything.
Is Juwan still working his way back a little bit?
Yeah.
Seemed like he was.
He was limited as far as his reps, and so, we were just kind of smart there, controlled it. He's ramping back up.
Kellen, I asked you a couple practices ago about just kind of getting back in the rhythm of play calling. Where do you feel like you're at in that play calling? And actually, where do you feel like Brand is at in his play?
Yeah, that's the beauty of all this call it, and that's why we want to put so much emphasis in it moving forward. Is really it's training us as well, training us how to handle situations and circumstances that come up in games. Scripting, every play for practices is fun. And it allows us to have a teaching progression, but ultimately we got to get ready to play games. And so, for me, this has been great. It's been great for me. You're going to make, a handful of calls. Certainly when you do 126, you're going to have a bunch of them that you're like, should have done this, should have done that. But it creates some rhythm for you.
I was going to say, out of those 126, how many were you like, oh my God, what did I call that? How many of those?
Those happen. I mean, you got 5 or 10 seconds, you got to make a decision, go. And it's great training for all of us.
2 weeks ago, did you know you were going to have this emphasis on live play calling, or is this something that as training camp has gone on, you've sort of evolved and say we need more of that?
No, this is our plan all along. We were kind of getting to the end of the installation process. This was kind of our big moment. They were basically collecting everything that we've installed, and we're just playing ball today. And now we start moving into a little bit more of a focus heading into the preseason games and heading into, okay, we kind of get a feel for our players, we got to get a feel for the scheme, and now how do we need to focus and address certain things.
What have you seen out of Michael Jacobson today?
Just continue to make plays. He does a great job. Pass game, he's done a really nice job. I think you can see the run games coming along, just the physicality of that, but he's a huge target. Huge advantage for him. QBs can see him. He can make great catch radius catches, and so he's taking advantage of opportunities.
Kellen, what have you liked out of Stutsman so far against us?
Yeah, Danny, he's just doing a really, really good job. I think rookie, you can see leaps and bounds. I think you can see his communication. He does a really good job communicating at a really high level over there. You can hear him on the field, which is a good thing when you're the middle linebacker. I love hearing those guys. And he's just running. He plays a really fast, aggressive style. He's running to the football. The more times you're near the football, the luckier you get, so to speak. And he's one of those guys.
How important, or how valuable is it to see him? You guys have mixed and matched him with the ones a little too.
Yeah, we're always trying to give these guys different exposures, and so he'll hop in there on occasion with the ones. Double D. Obviously we're building him up in a certain way to get ready for the regular season, and so sometimes he's able to steal some more reps because of that.
What would you say is kind of the percentage of your install that you've got done through this point?
we've gotten really the foundation put into place. And so now it's tweaks, adjustments, and then we start focusing in on, okay, what do we ultimately want to look like moving forward? And so, they really have the lay of the land, all the basics. And that's kind of the goal of the installation process, that, we can apply all these different schemes and techniques and tools throughout the season. And, now it's about application and tweaks.
How drastic can things change in that what do we want to look like portion of what's moving forward?
Yeah, it'll change all the time. Every week's different. Every week's a completely different game plan, and that's the beauty of football. Every week is a challenge. It's a whole new world. You got to defeat an opponent in some capacity, and whatever it takes, you're going to utilize every single player you possibly can.
How much fun was this for you today?
Yeah, it's good.
Fun.
Yeah, it's good. It just gets you back in the groove of a game. The drainingness of calling play after play after play after play, and then handling just the situations and all the circumstances that went into it. I thought we did an excellent job. I thought our guys were really organized. I felt like it operated really, really well. Our guys practiced really hard, and it was just a clean practice.
I feel like you came away healthy for the most part as well?
Yeah. We know the length of a practice like this. There's going to be a few, things that pop up, but I think for the most part we're in a good place.
Was Wolf Clapp's thing just like a heat thing?
No, he just got kind of rolled up, and so any of those guys, if any of them have anything long term, I'll let you know tomorrow.
Kellen, the first is cover zero, and they're not out blitzing.
Yep.
Are y'all teaching them where the receiver has to see, just like the quarterback can sight adjust the route? Because I know maybe a couple of times the quarterback was even aware that it was out and out blitzing, the ball wasn't coming out. But do the receivers sight adjust?
We have a couple tools. We do have sight adjust capabilities within the system. We do have built in, and then we have play call adjustments. And so we kind of make sure we expose ourselves to all three different tools, because you're going to need different tools throughout the season based off the opponent you're playing. But it's great training for our guys. The more pressure looks they get, that's the beauty of what we get in training camp because of Brandon. We're going to get a lot of different looks, a lot of different structures, force our guys to think, and a lot of times because of that, come fall, really you get simpler looks a lot of times once we get to the real thing.
As a play caller, what is it like playing against Baylor's defense?
Yeah, Brandon does an awesome job. Just the versatility of this defense. He does a great job of continuing to apply pressure, give you different fronts, give you different looks, force the offense to think and drain themselves mentally. And so that's a huge advantage for us.
Thank you very much, Kellen.
All right, thanks. You got a question, Dougie?
What was the practice like today? What did you think about it?
It had its up and downs for sure. The weather got intense towards the end, but definitely one of our bigger volume days, and I feel like it was much needed.
You've been in the league a long time. How new was the day like today for you?
This is, I feel like, how it usually was about like year 1, 2, and 3 in the league when those training camp practices was intense and they had a lot of volume to them. So kind of what I was used to, but definitely hasn't had it in a while. So definitely kicked our butts out there today.
And it's been so efficient the other days. How valuable is it to have kind of that mix and match?
I think it's definitely good because you're going out there knowing that it may not be that much volume. So pay attention to your reps and make sure you're giving great detail in each aspect of practice. And then also it allows you to exert the most energy.
Chuck had probably his best drive that we've seen during camp, that first touchdown drive with the second team. How much have you seen him grow even in this play?
I think he's doing well, just getting the knowledge of the playbook. Making the jump from college to the NFL and also learning a new playbook, learning the game speed. And I think he's doing, what he's asked to do, along with the other two guys. I feel like all three of them are just doing what they're asked to do and trying to compete at a high level.
What do you like about the way that, you've been here before with Kellen at least, but what do you like about the way that he utilizes wide receivers in particular?
Personally, we run a lot of 11 personnel, so that's 3 receivers on the field. That's more of an opportunity to get the ball, and I don't know what receiver wouldn't like that.
Going back to what you said earlier, in terms of when you were early in the league, Was it all no scripted, like unscripted like this, or like is that kind of newer?
I mean, I think you start getting into the collar periods. That's what we call it. Getting into the collar periods later during camp, closer to the games, because you got to go through the installs first, and then once you install everything, then that's when you get more game-like. And you like the collar periods because we don't know what's coming, and the defense doesn't know what's coming.
How do you feel that installation
Can you come again?
How do you feel like that installation process has gone?
I think it's going good. I mean, we meet every day at night to get the plays that you're going to run the next day, and then last thing on your mind is the plays you're going to run, and you run them first thing in the morning.
The approach that a lot of folks have talked about in terms of like the breaks after practice and everything, is that something that you experienced in Dallas by any chance, or is that something that maybe Kellen brought from elsewhere?
I don't recall. I don't remember the breaks that far back. Yeah, sorry.
I don't know how much you worked with your position coach in Dallas, but how much have you seen step into the court at the level and seen any leadership-wise?
I mean, yeah, just the details of overall, because he was position coach when I was out in Dallas. So just the overall details of every position, you can ask him any question. He's pretty much going to have the knowledge of it. He probably had it back then, but, I was asking my position coach back then.
What's he like kind of just as a coach?
Oh, Nuss has always been Nuss, man. Great guy, easy to work with, and he's gonna bring a fun aspect to the game, but at the same time, he's also going to give you great details.
What was the feeling when the team, the big coaching staff changes, obviously, but Coach Dub stays, Keith Williams sticks around? What was the feeling about him being able to come back with them a second year?
I think it's good that you're comfortable with somebody you're working with, and for me, I've worked with the whole offensive staff and now the receiver coach, so everyone's pretty much the same to me, and I feel like he just keeps the energy of the young bucks and the old guys in the room on a level playing field, and just gives us all the knowledge that we need. Gucci, appreciate y'all. Take care.
All right, let's start with getting to hit people. How was that?
It felt good, man. It's been a while since we got to tackle, and it felt great to have some physicality out there, and for the O-line, D-line to really bang each other, and it was great.
Is that something that, have you experienced that this early in camp? Did you experience that last year, this early in camp?
No, I say that we didn't really hit at all. We never went live until after I guess we never went live last year. It feels like, we got a week to the first preseason game, so it was nice to get out there and get a real feel for the game.
Kellen talked about how, especially in the second half of practice, how the defense responded. Can you just speak to the performance, especially being opportunistic with some of those turnovers that y'all were able to force?
Yeah, man, the offense, came out on fire, and once Jay Reed pulled us to the side and told us that we're better than that, we kind of turned to defense. Started off a little late, and we emphasized starting off fast, but what happens? We start off a little slow, and then we knew we had to turn it around, and some guys made some big plays to turn around, like Nephi and Kool-Aid made a big play, and that really sparked the defense and carried us the rest of the practice.
Defensive line got a lot of new pieces in the interior. What do you kind of think about some of those new guys that come in?
Yeah, I feel like we got a lot of great new pieces. With Godchild being one of the leaders is D-line, and then Jonah Williams, who has had a really good camp, pass rushing and stopping the run. I feel like those guys are gonna help us take the D-line to another level, which we need to be.
How was it going up against this new offensive line? A couple things, left tackle, Tommy on the right, and have Trevor on the inside.
Yeah, I feel like the O-line looks pretty good, looks pretty solid. I feel like they're learning to work together, and it's going to come with the more reps they get, the more comfortable they're going to be playing together, and I think they're going to be a great offensive line.
Khristian, when this scheme obviously has a nose tackle position that Godchild's made a career out of playing, versatility is really important, I know, but is that something where you kind of make a choice? Do I want to be a big, stout nose tackle for them, or do I want to be able to play nose and end in this defense? Do you almost have to choose a route?
I mean, right now they got me playing strictly nose,
Yeah.
which I'm okay with because I feel like I want to master that one position first,
Yeah.
and then once I start playing the other positions, I can get really good at those. But I feel like this type of scheme, the nose guard can make a lot of plays. He's getting matched up with the center one-on-one. I don't really think any center should be able to block a nose one-on-one. So I'm excited to get those opportunities.
Is he kind of a great model for how to carve out a career in this?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I've already talked to him on the side. I talked to him during practice. He's been a pretty good mentor, to the younger guys, and he's done it for a decade now. So I'm just watching the little things he does on and off the field, and try to take little pieces out of his game and add it to mine.
The first thing that everybody says about him is how strong he is. Is he that strong?
Oh yeah, he's like a bear. He's like a big old bear, man. He looks the part, and yeah, he's pretty strong. And then even when we're going to the weight room, he doesn't really have to warm up. He just throws on a bunch of weight, and it's just like, damn, he a man amongst boys.
It feels like you get a high volume of reps during one-on-ones. Is that structured by the coaching staff, or are you jumping in?
I'm just jumping in there, man. I'm trying to get as many reps as possible. Trying to showcase what I could do because we are pretty deep, and I'm just trying to make some splash plays as much as possible, and yeah.
You look really comfortable in this system. What do you think this system can showcase in your ability that maybe you didn't get to showcase last year?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like last year we had to think too much as a D-line. Like we had so many checks and adjustments, and I feel like this defense we could just go out there and line up and then just play, which I feel like every D-line should be, especially the interior. Like them guys are out there taking on 2 men at a time. You don't need to really think. You just need to put your cleats in the ground and go. And I feel like this system's really, really good for that.
Is there a lot of thinking that happens maybe pre-snap that makes that a little bit easier, or is that just kind of the goal?
I mean, it's not much thinking, to be honest. It's not much pre-snap, especially as a nose guard. Like, I mean, you're either a shade or you're a 2-eye, and then it just comes down to you playing the right block or playing the right techniques against different blocks. And I feel like this system is great for that.
How has it been learning under Bo Davis?
Oh, Bo's fun, man. He's a great dude. He really hammers the technique, which I feel like last year we needed more of that of hammering the technique, and we work on the same stuff every single day. I mean, it could get a little boring, but I mean that's how you become great, and I feel like Bo's been really good at that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Now you guys seem excited.
What do you feel like you've been doing really well out there the first couple of weeks?
I think just my effort. I'm just trying to make an emphasis every time I go out there. I'm giving it my all. At the end of the day, this is the highest level of football that you can play at, and so you got to be ready to compete no matter what.
And what do you feel like you need to work on most?
Man, I'm still a young player. I got a lot to learn. When I could try and compare myself to Jamar every day, there's a big gap there that I'm just trying to, fill 1% every single day, just so eventually, I can play at his level, at a high level.
What's the biggest thing that you learned from being around him now?
Man, just kind of really how to take that step from college to pro. Like, he's done it for a long time. I've trying to steal stuff here and there. He's, whenever I have questions, he's always there, ready to ask, ready to be there. At the same time, I don't want to bug him. He's got his own stuff that he needs to do, but he's been great. Him and Pete both just been leading that room, doing what it takes. They see something on the field, we're always talking. If I see something in film, to alert them, we're looking out for each other, and that's just what good teammates do.
How has the learning curve been for you so far, learning Granite State's defense?
It's a little different, but at the end of the day, where I was before, we did a lot of different defensive fronts, different defensive schemes, and so just kind of the verbiage is what changes. But besides that, it's kind of been, obviously there's going to be some hiccups here and there, but a little kind of seamless in my opinion.
Is it difficult in this kind of situation? There was one where you hit somebody, but it was almost like an excuse me hit. Is it hard for you not to hit somebody? You know what I mean?
A little bit. At the end of the day, we are teammates, so you got to look after your guys. But I'm wired, I like to get some contact here and there. But we are teammates. You got to look after your guys, and we need everyone here. Come week one.
How much fun was this today?
Oh, it was a blast. That's why I got the mustache. It was a war day, so we're ready to go.
Wait, mustache means war?
Yeah, you shave it off. You got the paint on. You're just ready to hit somebody.
What does the beard mean?
It's just a little soft, man. You gotta have. I want nothing on my chin strap, just so I can feel it all.
So, did you shave in anticipation for today, or did you?
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
We're just making sure we got that down.
I need to know
It was Coach Staley was saying look, tomorrow we're taking the war path. I don't know what the war path means, but I was like, all right, we need a mustache. I guess so.
You replace DeMario, sometimes you replace Pete sometimes, and then sometimes you're with Nephi, sometimes you're with DeMarco. Is it a fairly even split between Mike and Will for you, or it's primarily Mike
right now I've just been playing Mac, so kind of behind DeMario. Whenever I need to do, whatever I need to learn, I'm willing to do it. I think just because I'm coming into a new scheme, they don't want to overload me and throw too much at me. I'm ready for it, but I understand it from a coaching staff scheme. And then whoever I'm with, we're just trying to build that chemistry. When you're playing with some different guys, it's a little different, but you got to have communication. You can't let the drop-off change depending on who you're on.
And how important is it for you to show them that you can wear that communication device and call? Is that as much of it as playmaking on the field?
Absolutely. At the end of the day, it's not difficult to repeat what you're hearing, the call. It's not like we have something crazy. I just got to make sure everyone gets the call, because if they don't, they're not lined, it all goes on me. And that's what I'm used to. I think that was kind of a cool thing that college has implemented. And so I think it prepares, the next guys coming in they've already done it before. They're used to it, and so you don't really have to get that change of pace.
And the interception you had early in camp, what did you see on that play?
Yeah, so, in that look, usually when a team gets empty, they're going to try and isolate the Mike backer. I saw, Spence make a check to the, a receiver. Anytime you kind of got a receiver in that position, it's obvious where they're going. I think everyone knew. And then just able to make a play. Ball's a little low. Spencer knew that. We talked after. But just make a play. At the best level, it's going to happen like that. And you just got to put yourself in the best position to make plays.
Khristian talked about how the defense started out a little bit slower than Justin. We kind of got into y'all as a unit and say we're better than this. I know you're new to the team, but so is he. But how have you seen the way he's been leading the defense so far?
Yeah, obviously he's played at the highest level. He's played a part of a lot of big games. So he knows what it looks like when a team comes out slow. Everyone does. But, that's the leadership that we need on this team. That's the culture that we're trying to build. It's player-led. So when something's not to our standard, there's a guy like him, Cam, DeMario, that are willing to call it up, restart it. And I think from that point on, we looked great.
Can you talk about the scrimmage and, even in that second half, how opportunistic the defense was coming up with a couple of big turnovers?
Yeah, I think when you get in that red zone, that's when takeaways are key. I think Nephi had a huge one, and then we had another one later. That's big. That's when your defense, really needs to come alive. And I think we did at the biggest parts of the day.
I don't know the right way to phrase this. You seem like a confident guy. Is this going about how you expected so far?
Honestly, coming to this level, I didn't really know what to expect. Obviously, you're told it's going to be, you're playing the highest level with the, it's going to be a different speed. But I mean, every single day I try to prepare myself to the best possible ability. Kind of wake up with that sense of pressure that you have to perform now. It's not like college where, if you mess up, they keep you around, you got your scholarship, you're safe. Now it's, you mess up, I mean, you're going home, you're packing your bags, and that's been real. That's how it is. So you kind of got to have that, that drive, that sense, look, this is what I do for a living now. This is my passion. This is my joy. This is why I wake up in the morning. And I think, that just kind of motivates me to be on edge every single day.
Feels like you're kind of always around the ball. And Jack Stoll said, you get up on guys quick. The cruising speed, is that something you pride yourself on, being able to get to the football?
Yeah, I mean, that's how you get tackles. That's the effort part I talked about. I mean, that's just like a passion. You can't really teach that. I think that's the bottom line. You can teach scheme, technique, but you can't teach effort. And that's what I've kind of always had, at a young age, and what's always prided myself in how I play.
Kellen talked about you getting, some first team reps and things like that all throughout camp, and just curious about the sort of what it means to you to kind of be earning those opportunities this quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I've been blessed to have those opportunities, and I just got to make the most of it. You're going against that great talent. You can't be a step behind. Your steps have to be efficient. Your hands have to be efficient. Everything. You make one false step. Ball's getting past you. You're not levered. You're not in the right position. So you got to be critical. You got to know exactly what you're doing every single play. And at the same time, you got to be quick. You got to react. I think it's good to get those reps now. So come game time, it's not like I haven't seen it before. I think we have a very talented O-line. A lot of first rounders on that offensive line. So it's great for me to see the best of the best.
Danny, it's always tough for rookies to navigate. When you go through the pre-draft process, you're trying to run the best 40 time you can. But then you want to come here and you want to be physical. I mean, did you have a balance between that, or are you at the weight and the size and the strength you want to be already by now? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't cut too much from my combine training. Obviously, it is completely different. I mean, that whole experience was something else. I had one workout. It was with the Saints, and crazy how that works. Yeah. It all worked out. I'm blessed that they called my name. But just at the end of the day, you have to be ready for football. It's a quick turnaround when you get drafted, and then you're right into rookie minicamp, OTAs, all that. You got to be ready to play. Your name gets called, and the pressure's on.
What weight do you want to play at? What feels good for you?
Whatever they tell me.
Yeah.
They want me to put 20 pounds on, put my hand in the dirt, I'll do it. They want me to lose 15, I can play safety a little bit. But I'm around 240 right now, and I think I'm moving good, running good.
Danny, you honestly might have
all right, let's slow down.
Have you ever gotten sick of Chad Howard?
Of what?
Chad Howard.
I mean, a few times. I get a lot of Leonardo DiCaprio, Ryan Gosling, so I get a few of those comparisons. I'm honored. I'm flattered. But at the end of the day, I got to be my own person. Got to have my own personality. But I mean, it's cool to get compared to those guys a little bit. Chad Powers. I like it. I wish I could sling the ball like him a little bit. But I mean, it is what it is.
How do you think your personality meshes with the distinct culture of the world?
Oh, I think we go great together. Being a part of this, this culture, I think it was a great opportunity for myself. I kind of have a little bit of a personality to me. I think that's kind of what the embodiment of New Orleans is, that culture, that fan base. And I think there's no better place I'd rather be.
It's Sunday, so I'm guessing you had your bread and wine.
What's up?
It's Sunday, so I'm guessing you had your bread and wine.
My bread and wine was hitting people on the football field today. I haven't had the chance to do much other than that.
You're very productive player in college. Are you surprised at all by your draft position, or is that kind of where you expect?
I mean, obviously there's some stuff that goes into it. I think there's so much that can happen, behind the scenes that you don't know about. I mean, I think I put myself in the best possible position. I think I did everything you needed to do. I was a first team Big 12, first team SEC, All-American. I did it all in college. That's what I wanted to do when I came back for my final year. I wanted to be remembered in that legacy, be remembered in that program with a lot of the greats. And I just wanted to leave a mark. At the end of the day, I could have left in 3, but I had a thing, for that fan base and for that culture there that I wanted to leave the right way. And so at the end of the day, wherever I got drafted, I know I had no regrets, and I left it all in that field at Oklahoma.
Was the grade that you were hearing after that third year the same where you ended up getting drafted?
It was around the same. I kind of thought I was going to get taken in day 2. But, for how it goes with linebackers, you never really know. Sometimes they fly off quicker, but, they kind of, it's a position that doesn't get drafted as early as, some others. But, at the end of the day, you're on a team now, and nothing you can do to change that. And now it's just time to produce, and then, just work your tail off to see that field.
seems to have a kind of a long but recent history of a lot of press man coverage. What does sort of the vision on the quarterback do for you on this defense?
It allows you to make plays. As long as you know where the quarterback's looking, that's the quickest way to get to the ball. So when you're not, have to focus so much on a man, but you're kind of being in the way, that's how you make a lot of plays, make a lot of money.
Did that kind of factor? I mean, you talked about the interception. Did that kind of factor in your ability to be able to see things develop the way that you expected them to develop?
Absolutely. When you have depth, you can be able to play behind it. It's huge. If I'm just staring at that guy, never see the ball thrown, never be able to make a play on it. And so I think that's just Coach Staley's defense that allows linebackers to make plays within the system.
How has Justin Reed been as a leader on the
I mean, he's been huge. His experience, in the games that he's played in, has been detrimental to the development of a lot of these younger guys on the team. And to be able to have a guy like that that's willing to just pour into these younger guys, he was brought in here to be a veteran, to be a leader, and he's done that every single day. He hasn't faltered in that aspect at all. And I think it's huge for a guy like Jonas and some of these other DBs that can have someone always in their corner to go after them. And I mean, you already see the friendship and kind of that they're building in there. That's huge. That's what you need from your older guys who've done it at the highest levels. When you bring them in here to build a culture, I think he's kind of one of the key pieces in that foundation.
Did he kind of pull all you guys together today? I think Khristian was talking about him kind of pulling together the defense.
Yeah, those that first two drives, I think, weren't at the standard that we need to play at. It's not at the level that we want to compete. That doesn't win games, and he saw that right away, and he called it up. Said it how it is. We're all grown men. We can take that, and it puts a little chip on our shoulder, gets lights a fire under you, and then we were ready to go, reset, and we were making plays from there on out.
Is that the kind of vocal leadership you're accustomed to having, sort of from your role as well? Like, is that kind of how you were at Oklahoma?
Absolutely. I think there's levels to it. Right now I'm not in a position. I don't have the respect, to be able to do something like that. That's why you bring a guy in like Justin Reed. You have Demario Davis. You have Cam Jordan. Those leaders that have earned that. They've earned that respect from how they play to how they are every single day. The same person day in and day out. So when they speak like that, you have to listen to them.
And I assume you aspire to kind of be in that place when that's appropriate as well.
Absolutely. Like I said, you just have to got to do everything you can right now, every single day, to earn that respect. I'm a young guy coming in, just kind of learning the ropes, and eventually, hopefully, I know it will come true, but I'll have that same, same power.
Now, how much have you seen Spencer evolve from that 1 year I guess y'all were together that all year?
Oh, it's night and day. Spencer's development as a man, just as a player, has been huge. He's faced a lot of adversity at Oklahoma. There was games where he's getting booed by his own home crowd, and that could really just kill your confidence. From that aspect though, but his mindset really changed. I think when he went to South Carolina, he really grew. He became a great player. He's always had the talent but that mindset has completely changed, man. Being a great humble guy, and now his confidence is starting to show out. He's starting to make plays, and he's really being a leader in that locker room every single day. And to have a guy like that, to see the change. I had him for 1 year, my freshman year, and he welcomed me in, but it's a little different. He was that 5-star quarterback, and then he got humbled a little bit, and now he's flourished in the system, and he's looked great.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. All right, thank you guys.
I get a lot of Brad.